Welcome to the NWA. No, not the legendary rap group, but Northwest Arkansas. This video will be the last section of Arkansas that we explore before heading off into Oklahoma. Right now we're coming up the main highway through the area, Interstate 49. So this is a good time to give you some basic info on this area. The Northwest Arkansas Metro consists of 3 counties, Benton, Washington, and the rural Madison County. It is officially called the Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers Metropolitan Statistical Area, with Bentonville also being one of the 4 anchor cities in the metro. The 2020 census population put the area at 546,725 people, up a whopping 24.2% from the 2010 population of 440,121. A stark contrast from the previous towns I explored in Arkansas. This area is seeing growth rates more in line with other booming southern metros that you might hear about, like Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, and such. As of right now, it's the second largest metro in the state, only behind the Little Rock area. But if current growth rates continue, I wouldn't be surprised if it overtakes the capital area and became the new largest metro in Arkansas pretty soon. We're going to take a look at the 4 main cities of the area and then assess the overall area's infrastructure. So let's start with the largest city of Fayetteville. Alright, right now we're headed southbound on College Avenue. This is also known as US 71B for business. Fayetteville had a 2020 population of 93,949. It is mostly known for being the home of the state's flagship university, the University of Arkansas. Now, I was here in the summer, so I didn't get to see the full force of the student population on the city, but we'll still take a cruise through some parts of the campus. College Avenue is the primary north-south arterial route through the city. It's the road where you'll find all your favorite big boxes and your typical American shopping and dining experiences. Turning here on Dixon Street, you start to notice a few people out and walking around as you get closer to the campus. One thing surprisingly missing for this being a college town is the bike lanes. This is the area where the bars and nightlife of Northwest Arkansas can be found. So if you're looking for the happening spot in this part of the state, Dixon Street is it. And now we continue down Dixon Street. And we cross the railroad tracks here. We officially enter the college campus. And again, this is the summer, so it's the off season. So you're not seeing too many students walking around, if any. And there is the engineering school, of course. Very modern, very clean. This will definitely remind you of some of the other high growth areas around the South with all the newer development and such. So let's go take a look at some of the nearby residential areas. Lots of hills, lots of greenery, beautiful homes. You can just smell the wealth and the high property values in this area. All right, on to the next city of Springdale. All right, and we're headed northbound on US 71B into Springdale. It changes its name from College Avenue to Thompson Street up here. In 2020, Springdale had a population of 84,161, making it the second largest in this metro. It is the home of Tyson Foods, one of the major corporate employers in the area. And Springdale is the more industrial of the cities in this area, home to most of its working class population. And thanks to the dominance of Tyson Foods, Springdale has been named the poultry capital of the world. Coming up US 71B, you can see a lot of your typical strip mall type development that lines many major arterial routes around the US. There's an obvious difference in income here compared to Fayetteville, as we go from Whole Foods, Target, and such, to pawn shops, low-end motels, and Waffle House. I didn't see anyone out walking on this strip, and I didn't expect to. So let's see the downtown area. Now this is the main street, Emma Avenue. The downtown here is well manicured. Nice light poles, sidewalks are all in great condition. This was a Saturday afternoon around 1 p.m. Surprisingly, there wasn't much life as far as people walking around. But the businesses aren't abandoned, they're definitely open. All right, seeing all these construction cones, it looks like they're in the process of rebuilding or rejuvenating the streets and the sidewalks out here. Trying to spice up the downtown a little bit. So a lot of this stuff looks recent. You can see the fresh pavement. Oh yeah, look at those parking spaces. That's definitely new. So a nice quaint little downtown here. And more construction, so you can tell they're trying to bring some new life into the area. And here you see Tyson's, who has a major corporate presence in this area. But you did have this fellow with his bike ironically parked out in front of a taqueria to give you a friendly reminder that you are still in Arkansas. Overall, I'd probably describe this downtown in Springdale as clean but quiet. Off here in the residential areas, things do align with the population trends. A lot of these homes do look pretty new, and this reflects those back-to-back 50% growth rates that they've had in the decades since 2000. It's truly incredible. Alright, the next town up is the third largest city in the area, Rogers. In 2020, Rogers had a population of 69,908, up 24.9% from 55,964 in 2010. Rogers is the home of the first actual Walmart store. Now we're coming down Main Street, Walnut Street. And there's more life here in Rogers compared to Springdale. Lots of thriving small stores and shops line the area. I even stopped in to get this souvenir before leaving the state. Parking is free and abundant all throughout the area. Sidewalks in great condition. Everything is well manicured. One thing you will notice here is that there are quite a few people out biking, but there aren't any dedicated bike lanes. But overall, if you're looking for a nice small town with a thriving little downtown, I'd say Rogers should be near the top of your list, at least for now. That big Walmart corporate money has this area looking really good. Now for the final town in the area, it's fourth largest and the home of Walmart itself, Bentonville. Now we're heading northbound on A Street. In 2020, Bentonville had a population of 54,164, up a whopping 53.4% from its 2010 population of 35,301. Heck, let's just take a look at its growth from the previous two U.S. census. Just mind-blowing. Wow. And as we cruise down A Street, one thing of note is that Bentonville is quite creative with their street names. The east-west streets are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and such, while the northbound streets are alphabetic. A, B, C, D, you get the idea. Another interesting thing about Bentonville is that there are 0 Target stores in the city limits. I guess Target didn't dare to try and compete with Walmart on their home turf. One thing I quickly noticed here in Bentonville was the very high number of people riding around on bikes, but there were no bike lanes here either. But they do allow for bikes to use the car travel lanes, but when you have this many people biking, even without bike lanes, that's a clear indication that they probably are needed. Especially considering how many cities I've been to where they do have bike lanes, but no one actually riding bikes. Bentonville was very clean. The downtown was extremely active, the busiest I saw in the area. This was July 1st, so it appears there was some type of July 4th celebration going on in the city center. And here we have the Walmart corporate office and a replica of Sam Walton's original truck out front. Honestly, this building was kind of underwhelming for such a huge corporation. And to further highlight the dominance of Walmart in the area, I actually saw this Walmart gas station near the headquarters. Not a Murphy's, but an actual Walmart branded gas station. On the inside, it was nothing too special. It looked like your typical gas station, but with Walmart colors. It was clean, very good customer service, friendly people. My California viewers might be salivating over these gas prices. Bentonville was so active that I had to get out and take an even closer look. In terms of small towns, it doesn't get much better than this. It's almost surreal how the corporation that's somewhat to blame for the decimation of small towns, not only here in Arkansas, but across America, is also home to one of the liveliest small downtowns in the country. And unfortunately, the museum looks like it was being renovated, so I didn't get a chance to go inside and check it out.
Hey, careful, buddy, there's cars. Slow down. Hey, let's go. Guys, maybe that bench right over there. Blair.
Welcome to the square. Please keep the square and Bentonville beautiful. And this is the Benton County Courthouse. Even though Rogers is the largest city, Bentonville is the county seat of Benton County. All right. That's all the town, so let's talk about the transportation infrastructure. I-49 is the lifeline of this area. Through the developed parts of the metro, it has a 3x3 lane configuration, pretty sufficient for a metro of this size. I didn't really notice any issues with congestion on this route while I was in the area. Being that the metro is developed in a more north-south pattern, it makes sense that I-49 was built first through here. East-west mobility, however, can be a little more limited. For now, the main route is US 412. But upon further research, I learned Arkansas has plans to upgrade this corridor to an actual interstate highway in the future that will connect to Tulsa and I-35 in Oklahoma. With the corporate money in this area, you can expect the future interstate here to be built a lot sooner than I-69 or I-49 through the rest of the state. Down in Fayetteville, you can already see some of the major arterial routes starting to become congested, even in off-peak hours. College Avenue / US 71B being the worst. The main reason for this being that 71B is the only continuous north-south arterial through the area. There are a few others, but none of them cross through the whole city like 71B. And this is to be expected with areas experiencing this type of growth, as cities usually welcome all the new development and try to catch up on infrastructure later. In fact, with this type of growth, it's definitely going to be the surface arterials like 71B that clog up fast rather than highways. It's going to be interesting and likely painful to see how the cities attempt to manage the incoming growth. And next I want to talk about rail and other mass transit in the area. When studying the area, I saw several of the key ingredients for a viable light rail network. The large population of young college students, the strong corporate presence, and its white-collar jobs, as well as a favorable geographic layout, with most of the development following a tight north-south corridor. In fact, the University of Arkansas already performed a study in 2007 for a possible route estimated to cost between $550 million and $1.24 billion. Some estimates say it could be as high as $2.3 billion if it were built on its own right-of-way. But with the area growing so fast and land costs soaring, things will only become more expensive to build later. As of right now, that project is not funded and does not qualify for federal funding due to the metro not meeting population density and projected ridership requirements. There is a bus network called the Ozark Regional Transit that runs fixed lines through the area Monday through Friday with on-demand services on Saturday. These bus routes are free of charge for anyone to use. Northwest Arkansas is served by the Northwest Arkansas National Airport, just to the west of the Bentonville and Rogers part of the metro. Surprisingly, it is not an international airport even with the corporate presence here, but maybe that will change in the future. And the last thing I want to talk about is the biking population and the lack of bike lanes. Bentonville in particular had a lot of people biking, more than most cities that I travel to. So I pondered for a while on where or how bike lanes could be installed to accommodate this demand. Obviously, expanding the right-of-way of the roads in this area is probably a non-starter. So my suggestion would be to make most of the current two-way streets around the downtown and adjacent area into one-way streets. They appear to have at least a standard 25-foot width on the current roadway. So a one-way street similar to what you see here would likely do the trick. 12 feet for the travel lane, and I go 6 feet on the bike lane to make room for a barrier between it and the main travel lane, and then 8 feet for the parking lane. No additional right-of-way needed, just a conversion of the use of the existing streets. Lots of people are already riding bikes, and this might encourage even more of them to do so. And alright guys, that's all I got for Northwest Arkansas, a booming hidden gem in the state. Let me know what you think about this area, or if you live in the area, what are your thoughts on all this growth and the future of the infrastructure in Northwest Arkansas? Next stop is Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.